talk a little more about like an analog wave being reproduced from a voice, from a drum, from a guitar. That creates an analog wave. Is then captured into a microphone, converted into an electronic signal, goes through an XLR cable, goes through our audio system, through our soundboard, then back out our speakers. The speakers then reproduce that and back into analog waves, which then get, yeah?
Yeah.
Anything further, like any more detail about that?
Well, so in the last 15, 20 years, we've made it even more complicated now with Digital Desk. So Digital Desk, oh, well, let me backstep here. Any of you mix on Analog Desk? Yeah, I'm sure a bunch of you have. So before Analog Desk, all the inputs ultimately came to the back of the desk. All the preamps were in the desk. The preamps had amps. You'll hear that term interchangeably. And the conversion, there was really no conversion. It was just electronic analog. There was no digital analog conversion or analog to digital. So if you hear the terms A to D or D to A, that's all that they're saying with that is digital to analog or analog to digital. So with the Analog Desk, no conversion. That's why these classical audio snobs love Analog Desk. I love them too. They sound great. But with Digital Desk now, the signal flow is a little bit more complex because now you're shooting it down fiber lines or down Ethernet. You know, there's lots of different protocols. Midas, I think, AES 50. Yeah. With Digico, you got Opticore, you got MADI. So not important to fully understand all of those right now, but troubleshooting when it comes to mixing later on, those are definitely great things, and I'm sidetracking on that. But the actual signal flow, you know, you got these floor boxes here you might patch with. Those go to sometimes a split, which wise the signal if you have a separate monitor desk in front of house desk, splits the signal so both engineers can have independent control. This room, I think Dustin was saying, is you're mixing monitors from front of house in here, but some are split.
All of our campuses are.
Okay.
If you didn't know that.
And then from there, it's going into your input rack, as you'll call it, where you have all your input cards and output cards. And then from there, it's converted into a digital signal over fiber, Ethernet, MADI, going to the desk, and it stays digital to the desk. Then you've got your output, returning usually to, or usually from there going, for front of house purposes, going into a DSP or digital signal processor, which is distributing all the signals to the system. That's where you would do all time alignment with the system, correcting for phase, which we'll get into a little bit, EQ for the system. So that when you're mixing, you know, you don't have to worry or think about that. You've kind of got a level playing field to work off of. And then from there, it's distributed through amplifiers and then out into the system. And some systems have amplifiers that are digital input. Some still run analog. In touring, we use both. We usually do digital input, and analog is our backup. You can always depend on copper, right?
Yeah. Okay, so you guys heard a lot of terms in there. They're probably like, what? We're going to go through all of that. Everything he just said, we're going to break down and explain it all. So fear not. Just hold on. We're going to get there.